Here's what went down Wednesday, November 12th, 2025, on Beyond the Gates when Jan found out friendship and foolishness don't go together. Ted tried to bridge his daughterly divide, and Naomi declined a recliner. On Beyond the Gates, Ashley and Naomi were packing up the belongings Derek had left behind, with both ladies wanting to see Derek's beloved orange recliner gone. Ashley admitted to her friend that she could have been more honest with Derek and herself about her residual feelings for Andre, further explaining that Andre had rejected her in favor of the wife he was falling in love with. Naomi was quick to remind Ashley that Derek had lied about being fully paralyzed and had manipulated her. She didn't want Ashley second-guessing herself. Derek wheeled into the nurse's station at Garland and shocked Shanice by standing up from his chair. Shanice held back, giving Derek an "I told you so" when he described how Ashley had dumped him upon catching him upright after weeks of pretending he couldn't move his legs at all. Derek wondered why he always came up with dumb ideas and took unnecessary risks, one of which had landed him in the chair in the first place. When Derek saw the silver lining of having regained more movement in his legs, he announced to Shanice that he wanted to transition out of the chair and start using a walker. Shanice accepted his challenge to push him even harder in physical therapy now that it was generating results. Ashley came on duty at the hospital and saw Derek walking with help from his new medical aide. She was genuinely glad for his progress, but couldn't leave to check on a patient fast enough. Naomi texted Derek and chastised him for leaving his stuff in Ashley's apartment. Derek didn't want Naomi to be mad at Jacob for being forced to keep his secret, but Naomi, who had been looking for hope and had thought she'd found it seeing her friends reunited, deemed her hope lost and grumbled to Derek, "Thanks for that." Derek handed Naomi his key to give back to Ashley. Ashley realized that Shanice, as Derek's physical therapist, knew Derek was getting sensation back in his legs. Shanice confirmed Ashley's contention that Shanice was bound by doctor-patient confidentiality. Ashley understood but felt like a chump, since both Shanice and Jacob had known about Derek's progress and she hadn't noticed it. Shanice declared that the newly single Ashley had simply been freed up for something better. At the country club, Leslie wanted Eva to repeat her story about standing up against Kat regarding Ted. Eva fumed that, no matter what she did, Kat considered her not good enough. Leslie crowed that it was Ava's turn to be Ted's #1 daughter. When Leslie was happy that her attempt to win Ted back by rooping their friendship was working, Eva thought Leslie needed to stop dreaming. Jan, on break from her job as Vanessa's housekeeper, arrived in acceptance of Leslie's invitation to dine with her and Eva. Ms. Morgan hadn't spent much time at the country club and was somewhat overwhelmed by this. Seeing Jan's down mood, Leslie asked into it, and Jan told the Thomas women about Derek's paralysis and Ashley dumping him over hiding his recovery. Leslie quipped that there was a special place in hell for people who pretended they were paralyzed. Eva immediately retorted, "Better hope not. All the crap you pulled." Leslie decided Jan needed a special meal and dashed off to talk to the chef, which gave Eva a chance to tell Jan she needed to stop encouraging Leslie's plan to get Ted back. Jan insisted that she had only been advising Leslie to be friends with her ex, and that Leslie would have told her what her intentions were. Eva confirmed that Leslie only saw the friendship as a stepping stone and warned Jan not to blindly believe everything Leslie said. Ted paid a visit to a sullen Kat, who didn't want to talk about Eva. Kat was fine pretending Eva didn't exist. Ted understood Kat's anger but pointed out that his love wasn't like a pie, where one person got a bigger piece with nothing left over for her. He exhorted Kat to contemplate the fact that Eva would have lived a similar life to Kat's had Eva known she had a father. Perhaps, Ted suggested, Kat might have grown up loving her sister. After Ted swore he wouldn't fail at being a father the way he had failed being a husband. Kat expressed her hurt that Ted was treating Eva like an equal. Ted recalled the work Kat had done for charity and marveled how she could have compassion for people she had never met, but not for her own sister. Kat didn't want to see that Eva had been cheated out of growing up with a family. She asserted that Eva was not a saint or a victim, but someone who had been sneaky from the beginning and come into their lives under false pretenses. Kat said that Eva had helped Leslie ruin their family. Ted wanted Kat to assign blame to him and the bad choices he had made. Ted was confident that Eva had changed since the anniversary party that had blown everything up. Kat countered that, if that were true, Eva wouldn't have slept with her boyfriend. Ted was surprised to get that news. Ted listened as Kat declared there were sides to Eva that Ted couldn't or wouldn't see. Kat exclaimed that Eva was playing Ted like Boo Boo the Fool, and that Ted was not only allowing it, he was rewarding her for it. Ted wanted to hear more about the way Eva behaved around Kat, but not him. But Kat felt that even if she laid it out, he would just find a way to explain it away. Kat called it the dictionary definition of two-faced, that Eva carried herself in this manner. Ted promised Kat that, while he wasn't going to abandon Eva, he wasn't going to abandon Kat either. prompting Kat to hug her father tightly. Despite that, Kat stated that she was never going to accept Eva. Ted chose to be optimistic and departed. Eva, Jan and Leslie were surprised when Ted approached their table at the club. Explaining the cloud over his head, Ted would only say that he'd had a meeting that hadn't gone the way he had hoped. Jan and Eva watched as Ted thanked Leslie for paying for his insurance-deprived patients' medical care. Eva eyed Jan knowingly when Leslie took Ted's hand in response. Ahead of Donnie and Andre's trip to Los Angeles, Anita let Donnie hang on to her lucky quarter, the possession of which was a tradition in the Dupree household. Deeper into Fairmont Crest, Andre was packing for the journey and received a best wishes text from Pamela, who included the Andre-Donnie wedding photo with Anita's Vegas impersonator that had started it all. Later, Andre was amazed to learn that Donnie's parents had accompanied her home. The patriarch and matriarch wanted to let Andre know that his devotion to Donnie had surprised them, and that they were now on board with the marriage. Andre said he had only treated Donnie with the respect she had deserved. Anita was glad that her daughter was out of her bill-induced spiral and could see that Donnie was herself again. The Duprees felt that Andre, being willing to join Donnie in modeling for Forrester Creations, showed that the two were a unit. Andre caught himself when he said that he couldn't picture being without Donnie. No matter the risk. The subject turned to Andre's life before Donnie, and the photographer reckoned that he had tried to outrun the pain of his parents dying by traveling the world, and by burning through a series of casual relationships. Donnie appreciated how supportive Andre had been of her, but Andre winced when the Duprees joyously bet that Andre couldn't wait to be famous. With her parents gone, Donnie told Andre that there was still time to back out of the Forrester campaign. Andre smiled that he was fine doing it because he had weighed the risk, and Donnie noted her husband's repeated use of that word, brushing it off. Andre told Donnie that she was worth it and that he loved being able to make Donnie's dream of returning to modeling come true. He needed to grab some things from his apartment and promised Donnie he'd meet her at the airport. Andre arrived first and sent Donnie a selfie of himself celebrating the beginning of their adventure. Donnie, who was finishing up filling a suitcase, got the message, after which her expression changed immediately. Once Donnie met Andre at the gate, she proclaimed, "I'm not boarding. You're not boarding." The trip was off, Donnie said, adding that if Andre thought about it, he'd understand why. Beyond the Gates airs weekdays on CBS and streams on Paramount+.